Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. In light of some recent information from SEC attorney Jorge Tenreiro indicating that really only Ripple and Ripple employees are at risk of having sold XRP as a security, given that revelation, will XRP be relisted on cryptocurrency exchanges in the United States that have halted or delisted it? And additionally, should they? Is it sufficiently, is the risk sufficiently removed from the scenario, or is there a potential downfall in the works for any cryptocurrency exchange that is so forward-thinking and acting? Well, I've got opinions from 4 attorneys in this particular video, including a nice, interesting little back-and-forth Twitter debate among 2 of them. And I love it. I love it when adults talk and can have different opinions on something and they just get along. Why can't more of Twitter be like that? Because that is what happened here. And these are, all 4 attorneys happen to be pro XRP, but not all of them always say everything positive and sunshiny about Ripple and XRP. So I do believe there is intellectual honesty here, despite the opportunity for bias, if you want to call it that, just because they happen to be pro XRP and hold XRP. I also do want to be clear at the outset here. I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who likes to make YouTube videos about Ripple and XRP and all sorts of other things crypto related, and that is indeed all that it is. Now here's a headline from Crypto News Flash. Lawyers argue whether exchanges are allowed to relist XRP after Friday's Ripple vs. SEC hearing. Now perhaps using the word argue makes it sound a bit more spicy and interesting, but I would replace the word argue with debate or conversation. Like conversate. Lawyers conversate whether exchanges, argue's too strong of a word. They're not sitting there, because that just implies that there's a bitch fest going on, and that absolutely is not even close to reality. So anyway, the hashtag RELISTED continues to make waves. After a discovery hearing in the United States Securities and Exchange Commission's case against Ripple produced 2 surprise sensations in Ripple's favor last Friday, the XRP community is getting its hopes up that the token could once again be listed on exchanges worldwide for American customers. And by the way, let me pause there, because in a recent video, just for those of you that may have missed this one of the latest anyway, Moon Lambeau Hot Jams, I did share my opinion that, of course, I, like everybody else in the XRP community, of course I want XRP to be relisted on all these exchanges. It's my humble opinion, and I hope I'm wrong, that you're not going to see XRP relisted until there is clarity, definitive clarity surrounding this case of the SEC versus Ripple. I just don't think that it's going to happen. I'm not going to go in depth onto my rationale, not terribly in depth in this video, because I already really spent a lot of time fleshing that out, but I just thought I'd make my point known, my position known, for those that did not hear that hot jam. The piece continues now. An SEC attorney had stated at the hearing that, quote, only Ripple and affiliates of Ripple, end quote, could have illegally sold XRP. Attorney Jeremy Hogan analyzed that exchanges that delisted XRP 2 months ago did not violate securities laws and would not do so if they offered XRP for sale again. The attorney also speculated that the SEC may have received a number of requests for clarification from the exchanges. Now, since the hearing, the SEC has yet to comment on the matter, but on Twitter, hashtag RELISTXRP is making big waves. After the hashtag was already trending in Australia on Saturday, the XRP community managed to do the same in the United States yesterday. And you can see here, Crypto Bull 2020 on Twitter shared a screen grab showing that at the time, hashtag RELISTXRP had 29,700 retweets, or I guess just they wrote it as tweets. And it's far surpassed that. That was at that point in time. It's certainly, I don't know what the current number is. I could be mistaken. I think I last saw it some time ago, over 40,000 tweets. So whatever the number is, though, you can look it up if you're that curious. But it's a lot of humans in the XRP community that really want XRP to be relisted. I count myself among them. And by the way, to be clear, I don't think that this is a waste of time, this whole Relist XRP campaign. I think that people have every right to and should make their voices heard if they believe something here. So even if we don't get the outcome that we'd all really like, which would be all of the exchanges relisting XRP right now, I still respect and appreciate the the point of view here and the attempt. I don't think that it's some sort of waste of time or anything like that. Even if something's unlikely to happen, it doesn't mean that you don't fight for what's important to you. It doesn't mean that you don't articulate what's important to you. So I think it's great. Again, just to be clear. And so this is where we get into the nuts and bolts of this here. So John Deaton, he shared a screen grab. I actually covered it in a previous video too. I'm not going to in this video because it'd go too long if I rehash everything. I always try and be brief when I have to bring up points for context that I already covered in a recent video. But it had to do with what Jorge Tenrero, that's his name, Jorge Tenrero, the SEC lawyer, explained to the judge as far as, who would be guilty of selling an unregistered security. And, again, so what the rationale is behind that. And so John Deaton shared that screen grab. Jeremy Hogan, another attorney, retweeted that. John Deaton, of course, is an attorney, and that was retweeted by attorney Jeremy Hogan, who wrote the following. And the word affiliate was used in that. I don't want to read through the whole thing here, but anyway. The term affiliate is defined in Rule 405 of the Securities Act of 1933 as, quote, a person or entity that directly or indirectly through one or more intermediaries is controlled by, or is under common control with an issuer, end quote. And then he says, tell me, Coinbase, does Ripple control you? And so again, because that's the key point there. If you're an affiliate, it means that there's that word control there. So that's why he asked in the end, does Coinbase control you? Obviously, the answer is no. Ripple does not control Coinbase. And so Jeremy Hogan's point is here is that under what SEC lawyer Jorge Tenrero stated here, there's no way that a cryptocurrency exchange like Coinbase could be considered a, quote, affiliate, which means that they would not be, if they were selling XRP today, would not be selling a security. Now, of course, things get a little bit more complex than that, and this is where attorney Jesse Hines jumped in to share his opinion on this. And he wrote, you could argue that an exchange is a dealer and thus not exempt from Section 5, which means that, so what he's saying right there, obviously, is that if an exchange did jump in, and if they were to be proven from a legal perspective to be a dealer, if that's the correct definition, then they would not be exempt actually. So that's the point that Jesse Hines was making there. And Jeremy Hogan, though, jumped back in and responded to that. And he wrote, even if they are considered a broker-dealer, the SEC already put on the record in response to Deaton's motion that there has been no legal determination of XRP's, quote, status, end quote. So the exchange's behinds are covered either way now. And then he wrote, Jesse Hines then wrote, I'm not so sure I agree here. If it's ruled to be an unregistered security, then that would date back. And so let me pause right there. So it's just this idea of that even though XRP today is not a security, you can, if something is found to be a security in the future, it's like they can go, like retroactively just go back and say, oh, well, you did it. You should have known. And that, to me, is some of the nonsense that I hate the most about regulation through enforcement rather than regulation through clear policy. And the SEC is regulating through enforcement. And so again, let me restart that since I paused it right there. So Jesse Hines wrote, I'm not so sure I agree here. If it's ruled to be an unregistered security, then that would date back. It's fair to say this lawsuit has given exchanges fair notice that they may be selling an unregistered security. I don't think anything in the response shields them. And Jeremy Hogan responded with the following. He wrote, it's not a notice issue. It's a binary it is or isn't analysis. But this lawsuit won't provide a ruling that XRP is or isn't anything. That's a red herring, and the exchange's lawyers did what most advisory lawyers do and chickened out. It's time for them to reanalyze. And so you can see clearly Jeremy Hogan thinks that the lawyers that, quote, chickened out, maybe you should take a second look here, especially after what Jorge Tenrero with the SEC has stated here, and maybe just add XRP back, stop the halt. or halt the halt, right? To which Jesse Hines responded, if it is, as in if XRP is a security, exchanges have been selling unregistered securities, and then we get back to, are they a broker? And if so, they are in trouble, right? And so it does get messy there. And so whatever you think about the back and forth there, and I think we can all agree, yes, of course, we'd love for the exchanges to add XRP again. And I think ultimately they will. But again, I don't think that it's going to happen until after this whole case is either settled or adjudicated fully in court. I do think XRP after that point will be added to all these exchanges, and I would prefer it be added sooner. I'm just not confident it's going to happen. I think out of a true abundance of caution, all or the vast majority of exchanges that have halted the trading of XRP, I don't think that they're going to be, even if they're reanalyzing or just staying up to date on what's going on, and I'm sure they are, I'd just be really surprised if they ended up changing what they're doing here and actually added XRP sooner than later. So then there was this. Somebody wrote in response to one of Jesse Hines' tweets, this is just somebody from the XRP community, wrote the following. Everyone needs to think big picture. As an executive, corporate lawyer, or board member, do you want to risk the SEC coming after you? Risk management, tolerance, and aversion are safe ways for these people to think. We want XRP relisted today, but that doesn't make it less risky for them. And it's like, so to me, that's the way that I personally look at it. And so I'm not saying that Jeremy or Jesse, I'm not saying either of them are wrong. I'm just saying if it were me and I'm looking out for my employees who have families and I don't want my company to get run into the ground, I'd probably just err on the side of caution. That's why I never complain about Coinbase or any other exchange that is looking out for themselves and their employees, their whole team, and the company. To me, that makes sense, right? I still, and so I don't blame them. I blame the SEC. There's still someone to blame, but it's not the exchanges. You blame the SEC because they're the ones that resulted in all of this happening, right? Anyway, Jesse Hines, in response to that, wrote, "Thank you. And it can be relisted, but if you were an exchange, would you?" And again, I already answered that for me. I think the answer, if I were in the exchange in the United States, if I were running one, I don't think I would. And so, I respect the exchanges like the few that keep it up and running, Uphold, and BitTrue and GateHub. But man, if this goes south for Ripple, they're going to have like a really bad time, But I still think they're bold, and I support them. So don't take that as a lack of respect. Of course, I respect them. I'm a huge fan. I've been using Uphold, frankly. I guess this summer will be 3 years. So I think they're a fantastic exchange, and I think that what they're doing is to be applauded. And then there was this from attorney John Deaton, who he also has kind of a similar viewpoint as me, which is obviously who doesn't? Everybody wants XRP to be relisted. He doesn't think that XRP will, and so it will be relisted before there's a finality with all this. And so he wrote the following. I'm afraid that people have an expectation that exchanges will now relist or unsuspend XRP based solely on a comment made by an SEC lawyer who was generally referencing Section 4 exemptions. And then he wrote in all caps, "I hope I'm proven wrong." Yeah, same here. I hope I'm proven wrong too. I will be happy to acknowledge if I'm proven wrong. I will rejoice at being proven wrong if XRP gets relisted, but before this is all fully adjudicated. And then John wrote, "I will literally celebrate being proven wrong by the exchanges. I believe the exchanges that delisted or suspended XRP will require more certainty that they will not end up in the SEC's crosshairs over XRP." And that makes sense to me. So, and look, I don't think that they're doing anything wrong by selling XRP. I don't think they ever have. I think if they relisted it, they're not doing anything wrong. It's more like, what's the risk if you do that anyway, and who's going to come after you? That's what I'm saying. And that's pretty well what John is saying too, I think. And then John Deaton also wrote this. Tagged Coinbase and wrote, "Coinbase, I have agreed to be your general counsel pro bono for the duration of this tweet." I like that. And he wrote, "You have an opportunity to demonstrate great leadership in this industry just prior to your initial public offering and begin trading XRP immediately and show solidarity within the space. Be a leader." And I like that. So obviously we're all, again, this just illustrates the degree to which, yes, we all want this. Yes, hashtag relist XRP. I'm all about it. I'm just not convinced it's going to have that result. But yeah, like, let's be squeaky wheels here. Squeaky wheels gets the grease, right? Squeaky wheel gets the grease. So let's be a bunch of squeaky wheels. I'm all about it. And then here is attorney Arturo Portilla, who wrote the following. Although I do acknowledge that the hashtag RELISTED movement has gained considerable traction, I believe that the likelihood of seeing any exchange reestablishing XRP services before the case is definitively settled, either privately or through courts, is quite low. And so you can see that the attorneys in general, I'm not quite sure if Jeremy thinks that they will or won't. I don't think I saw that perspective from him. So at least 3 of the 4 attorneys that I highlighted in this video don't think that it's likely. And I gotta admit, I agree with them, unfortunately. It's not, again, none of us want that, but that's what it looks like here. So that all that means really in the end, though, is we just got to be more patient, because I do believe it's more likely than not justice will be done here. And I think once there is finally clarity surrounding XRP's legal status, that the exchanges, Coinbase and the rest of the crew in the United States, I believe that they will resume trading, because they're a business. Of course they'd love to make money on the trading, the buying and selling of XRP. Of course they want that. It's not like they wanted to halt the trading. That's just out of an abundance of caution. This is what they've done. So let me know what you think below. I'm all about diversity of thought. You guys don't have to agree with me for us to be friends. There's going to be all sorts of different viewpoints on this. And I'd be curious to see what most people think, if there's a prevailing opinion. I already know that all of us want XRP to be listed, but do you think it will be listed? Tell me that in the comments below, but I'll wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.